Well, vacation is over. The Supreme Court resuming operations today, and it began hearing a batch of petitions around the NEET controversy, pulling up the National Testing Agency and the union government. The court observed that there was a question paper leak and one should not be in self-denial. The court has also asked for more details before deciding if a retest should in fact take place. Ashmit is standing by with more. So Ashmit, as of now, status quo continues. The court has asked the NTA for more details. Take us through some of the key observations made and where this now leaves matters, because the uncertainty continues.
Well, indeed, there are three aspects to look at. The first is that the demand being made by various petitioners for cancellation of the exam altogether. They're basically saying that there's a widespread leak that has taken place, and on account of that, there needs to be cancellation. To that end, important to point out, they're relying on two important aspects here. Number one, they point out that in the previous years, there have been one, maybe two candidates who've secured 100% marks. In this case, in 2024, there are 67 candidates, 6 of them from one centre, and that is something that appears to be an anomaly pointed out by the petitioners. The other aspect they point out is a press release by the Bihar police. What's interesting, however, is that the Solicitor General, appearing on behalf of the centre, has said that the Bihar police has clarified that there was no such press release admitting to a leak in the first place. Now, this is what invited commentary from the Apex Court itself. The Supreme Court said that it is beyond doubt that there is a leak that has taken place. The only question that now remains is that how widespread was that leak. The reason the Supreme Court made that observation is because the Supreme Court noted there were over 23 lakh applicants, and that if a cancellation of the exam is to be brought about, number one, the Supreme Court needs to be clear that the leak was quite widespread, and number two, they need to point out that the beneficiaries have not been able to be identified. Those are two conditions, parameters that need to be met. So on the back of that, whole host of clarity is sought from the NTA, from the centre, on the modalities that were followed of distribution of this entire exam paper, when the leak was discovered, how widespread the leak was. All these modalities will now have to be made clear by the NTA as well as by the centre. Not just that, summons have also been issued to the CBI. The CBI will now have to give a status report on this ongoing investigation as far as the NEET paper leak is concerned. The Supreme Court essentially saying, look, it's a big decision we need to make, and we need more inputs coming in from the NTA, from the centre, from the CBI before we make that decision. The next hearing in this case is on Thursday. That's July 11th.
All right, we will have to pick up on this on the 11th of July. I appreciate you joining us. Ashmit, staying with the Supreme Court, it's directed the centre to frame a policy on menstrual leave for women employees by holding consultations with states and other stakeholders if necessary. Now, the top court has said that the issue is a government policy and not an issue for the courts to intervene into. The court has also observed that mandating menstrual leave for women may lead to them actually being shunned from the workforce and go against them. Now, staying with the court action, former